Our next speaker is Emma Lindrose-Siegel. Emma is the Chief Development Officer for the Great Springs Project.
Thank you, Vanessa. Hello, EarthX, and thank you, Luke. As Vanessa said, I'm Emma Lindrose-Siegel. I'm the Chief Development Officer for a 501c3 nonprofit incorporated in Texas called Great Springs Project. Part of the Great Springs Project mission is to build a 100-plus mile trail network from the Alamo in San Antonio to the Capitol in Austin. The trail network is going to be a hike and bike trail. It'll connect the 4 Great Springs of Central Texas from the Blue Hole at Incarnate Word in San Antonio to Comal Springs in New Braunfels, San Marcos Springs in Hays County, to Barton Springs in the capital city. My hope for the next few minutes is I can convince you that trails are the project that can unite socially, culturally, and politically Texans. What we're working to do at Great Springs Project is build a regional system of trails that connects communities, the springs, these cities, and other more far-flung pockets for a regional connection that will provide transportation alternatives, wildlife corridors, but also economic opportunity for the region and the state. Trails are good for our health, wellness, animals, and the environment. We know that there's intrinsic value in getting outside and moving our bodies so that we can promote longevity, heart health, and a variety of other health indicators. We know that it's good for animals, as Luke was talking about wildlife corridors and the dangers of road crossings. We know that having trails in place provides habitat and safe harbor for the natural world. There's also strong economic incentive to promote trails. Businesses that are located in Texas want to be placed in environments where their employees and talent wants to live, raise their family, and thrive. Access to trails and parks is a big part of that. And it's not just waking up in the morning, going outside your front door, and getting on a trail. It's also traveling to regional trails that are connected to other points of interest. In the capital city, we have the Butler Trail that goes around the lake. When folks visit that in the morning, they will stop for a cup of coffee or a bottle of water. If they go on the weekend, they might make a whole morning out of it, renting a stand-up paddle board or stopping for lunch with friends. All of these things are economic builders and indicators that help cities thrive. And it's good for Texas. When we have the regional trail in place, we'll also have increased tourism to the area. People will come, hopefully they'll do 10, 15, 20-mile segments, the whole 100 miles, ideally. Up the corridor, they'll stay in hotels. The hotels will generate tourism revenue. The tourism revenue will promote and fund the hotel occupancy tax. All of that is good for the state of Texas, it's good for businesses, and it's good for people who are wanting to live and work in regions that have a high quality of life and that are places that they can raise their families and thrive. We also look at data around when people buy a home. They look at the walkability score. They think of things like, when I get up in the morning before work, where can I walk my dog safely? When my children get home from school, where can they ride their bikes on a trail system that's safe and fun? Great Springs Project is working to connect all of those pieces so that the growth of the region reflects the priorities of the community, reflects trail connectivity to connect people and those places. So how are we doing this? We've built 43 miles of trail so far of the 100-plus mile hike and bike network. That's working in coordination with the Alamo area and the Capital Area Metropolitan Planning Organization to make sure that those trail and trail networks are incorporated in regional, state, and city transportation plans. We are also among the first nonprofit organization to receive a TxDOT Transportation Alternatives grant. That grant is going to amplify our ability to safely cross and build trail along challenging intersections and roadways in the TxDOT corridor. And it's really significant to have TxDOT support in this work for trail, for connectivity, and that regional transportation alternatives element. It's going to amplify and accelerate that work. We believe at Great Springs Project that we have only a few years to do this. Our goal is to build the trail by the Texas Bicentennial in 2036 and conserve land and build parks and greenways along that route. We are 43 miles in. We have a long way to go. I really encourage all of you to visit our website, greatspringsproject.org. There is a very detailed and technically specific Great Springs Trails plan and a series of maps that show where trail has been newly constructed, where it's newly funded, where engineering work is happening now, where construction is happening, and where there's new trail that's open and available for people to get outside and recreate. Trails are good for Texas. Trails are good for the economy. They're good for wildlife. They're good for the environment, and they're good for building the communities that we want to see with all of the businesses that are moving here and the development that's happening in our region. I think I do have time for questions, comments. Sir.
I heard there was a wildlife corridor in northwest San Antonio. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah,
it goes over the freeway?
Yeah, there is Luke mentioned there's a land bridge over, there's Hardburger Park and Brackenridge Park in San Antonio. San Antonio has done a really brilliant job through the Howard Peak Greenway system of well over 100 miles of connected trail. And the trail looks different in different areas of town. Most of it is a 8 to 10 feet paved pathway that's illuminated at night for safety. Some of it is a more primitive trail that goes through a more rural area and ranches. But the wildlife corridor, that land bridge serves as a wildlife corridor, and the whole trail system is on park space, protected land, green space, and over the western side of San Antonio, it's over the Edwards Aquifer recharge and contributing zone. So there's also a water protection element to it as well. And that also feeds into the Salado Creek Greenway. I don't know how familiar you all are with the San Antonio trail system, but it is really, really exceptional. Other questions? Yeah, the main spine of the Great Springs Trail starts in San Antonio at the Blue Hole, which is housed in the Incarnate Word campus in San Antonio. And then it comes up through two prongs, kind of as a Y, out of Bexar County into Comal County, goes up into Comal Springs, which is in New Braunfels, then up into San Marcos Springs, which is in San Marcos and Hayes County, and finally Barton Springs in the capital city. So that's the main spine of the trail. But when you look at the trail map, we've also got spurs that connect smaller communities like the city of Selma and Schertz and Garden Ridge. Those are new and growing communities that are connected to the trail system. And then we're also building a 17-mile loop around the city of San Marcos. So you'll see that reflected in the map too. There's a main spine of the trail, which is 100 miles as the crow flies, and then there's multiple loops and spurs that connect growing communities there. And when you look online, I really do encourage you, look at the trails map online, because you can really zoom into specific intersections and neighborhoods and see where the trail's being built, where it currently exists, and what the opportunities are. Thank you.